Okay, next, moving back to the foreign horror films, I have the craziest film I've ever seen. This is called The Happiness of the Katakuris. And I don't even know what it's about. It's so weird. It's like a zombie horror musical comedy drama. And I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. It's just they buy this inn and nobody stays, but then this one couple stay and then they die, and then they proceed to break out into like this dramatic song and dance, and they bury the body, and more people come and more people die, and they bury those bodies, and there's like this whole like weird romantic subplot and this weird karaoke segment where words appear on the screen and they take microphones, and in the end the bodies start rising, and it's just insane. I recommend you give it a try because I've seen it 3 times and I still don't know what it's about. It's just Okay, next one I have one of the scariest films I've ever seen, the original The Haunting. Like, I watched that and I'm too afraid to like go downstairs by myself because it's not like jumpy, it's just so full of atmosphere. You're like tensing up just waiting for something to happen. It's like once I was watching it in my room in the dark and someone came in, I opened my door and I swear my head hit the ceiling and nothing scary was happening on screen. It's just the tension and the direction. It's a very, very good film. Next we have Hellraiser, which I only watched once because it's actually pretty gross. It's good though, I will watch it again, it's just I wasn't prepared for the gore. But very good film. Pinhead. And next is another one that a lot of people didn't like but I loved, Hereditary. I again avoided the trailers, so I knew about it because I'd seen posters and stuff, but I didn't go out of my way to learn about it. So I bought it on a whim and then I watched it alone and I thought it was amazing. The ending, you know the parts I mean, was so scary, and that one scene, I did not see that coming. I had to rewind it because I was like, did that actually just happen? And I thought it was just amazing. Toni Collette was just out of this world. She's a fantastic actress. Next I have, don't judge me, Hide and Seek. Again, saw it when I was little and I didn't really have much experience in horror films and it did scare me. I need to rewatch it just to see how it holds up, but yes, I have a habit of seeing horror films way too young and then they terrify me. And next I have the original The Hills Have Eyes. Very, very creepy, messed up film. Family, road trip, car breaks down. They happen to be right near a group of murderous cannibals. Oh my gosh, it was so disturbing. Again, seen it once. I don't remember it being that gory, but it was just like quite disturbing. Next I have another big box set here. This is an Alfred Hitchcock collection. It's got 14 films, including Psycho, Rear Window, Rope, Vertigo, Marnie, The Man Who Knew Too Much, Shadow of a Doubt. I love Hitchcock's films, especially his horror films, and you really can't go wrong with a 14 DVD box set full of his classics. I've not seen all of these, but I've seen the most important ones. I want to watch Family Plot next because that sounds really good. Okay, it's not Halloween without Hocus Pocus, is it? Absolutely cult classic film. I hope they never remake it because you cannot improve upon perfection, and there is just nothing much to say apart from how much I love this film. Next one is something I've seen once but I really liked it. It's this weird old film called House I don't remember too much about it, but he's a horror novelist. His young son disappeared and he's trying to write a book, but he moves into this strange house and there's nightmares and visits and hideous creatures from another dimension. Yeah, it's not coming back to me, so this is definitely worth a rewatch. I remember liking it a lot, and the main character is Tommy Ross from Carrie, so that's a nice little surprise to see. Next I have a double film box set, a double feature, House of Wax, the original with Vincent Price and the remake. I've not seen the remake because, again, I don't do them, and I thought the Vincent Price one was pretty good, so I don't really feel the need to watch the remake. And I have here the original House on Haunted Hill, again with Vincent Price. I liked it. It's pretty cheesy, but I still liked it. It's good fun to watch. Again, I don't see the need to watch the remake, so I'm sticking with good old Vincent Price. And next I have a thriller called Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte with Bette Davis in. Basically, when her character was younger, her boyfriend was killed. Everyone thinks she did it, so she's like a recluse. And then her cousin comes to stay, and then weird things start happening. It's very, very good. And Bette Davis, horror icon. You can't really go wrong with that. Okay, moving on to we have I Know What You Did Last Summer. Saw this not too long ago. I thought it was actually really good. I like the whole urban legend things like that. Good fun. And then we also have I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Saw this once. It was okay. Again, not a big fan of sequels, but it was okay. And next I have this old film from the 60s called The Innocents, and she goes to this house to look after these two children because their parents are away on business. You know, totally normal thing. And she believes the children are possessed by the spirits of these two people, but she needs to like convince everybody else that they are. Very creepy, very atmospheric, fantastic film. Okay, so next I have Insidious. I think I'm in the minority here when I say it was just okay, in my opinion. The characters were a nice surprise because they were actually smart. Like, the house is haunted, okay, let's move. You know, when does that ever happen? But I liked it up until they brought Darth Maul and the Ghostbusters in. I felt like it kind of lost its way after that. But yeah, that was just, I felt like it could have been better. I mean, that's just my opinion. A lot of people like it, maybe I'm wrong. You know, don't let me influence you if you haven't seen it. Up next, going back to the Universal Classics here with The Invisible Man, Claude Rains. Very, very good film. Special effects, I think they still hold up today. Like, sometimes I'm still trying to like wonder how they did certain things. It's a really, really good film. It's got Gloria Stewart in it, who's best known now as Old Rose in Titanic. And up next, I'm going to cover his face. Stephen King's It, and the reason I'm covering his face is because he is scary. Tim Curry is terrifying as Pennywise. Doesn't help the fact that I'm scared of clowns anyway, but he is just super, super scary. I don't know why I have this, I can barely watch it. I always have to cover my eyes when he comes on the screen. And believe it or not, I have the remake of It. It was pretty good. The clown makeup, I was actually able to look at it because it wasn't as full-on clowny as Tim Curry's. But no, I thought the child actors were really, really good. And I also have here It Chapter 2, but on Blu-ray. I was kind of hoping to see Pennywise take on the different forms of like the mummy and the werewolf and that creepy demon bird and the 3 dead boys in the water pipe and that creature from the Black Lagoon, but we didn't have any of that, so I was a bit disappointed. I don't know. It was a fun film. Up next, we have a film that traumatizes everybody that watches it. Jaws. I saw this again when I was 3. Still won't go in the water now. I mean, people say like it's not scary, the shark looks fake, but you go into the ocean and there's only one thing going through your mind, and that is this. You know, you feel like it could happen, even in England when there's never been any kind of sharks. It's like, I don't want to go to Australia. And we also have Jaws 2. I know I don't like sequels, but this one's actually pretty good. I used to watch this like, all the time as a kid, because I was weird. Next we have Jeepers Creepers. I've not seen this in years. It is due a rewatch, but I remember it being actually pretty good. And we also have Jeepers Creepers 2, which is not mine, it's my mum's, but I remember seeing a very, very, very brief portion of that where there's like the bus broke down next to a cornfield, and that's all I remember, so I really do need to watch it very soon. Okay, the only film beginning with K, Krampus. I love this. I love Christmas and I love Halloween, so the two of them mixed up was like perfect for me. It's funny, it's got creepy creatures and cute little evil gingerbread men. What more could you want, you know? And a very, very creepy Krampus. Okay, next we have the original Last House on the Left. I don't watch this a whole lot because it is hard to watch. Even now, with it, this is not the uncut version. I don't think the proper like uncut version exists. There is some with footage put back in, but I don't know if that's like all of it, and I'm not sure I want to see it because it does sound pretty gross. Really horrific film. These two girls get kidnapped by this gang of psychopathic killers, and again, I don't want to say too much in case I spoil anything, but they come to regret what they did. This next one, I don't think it's too well known. It's called The Legend of Hell House, and it's got Roddy McDowall in it, about these psychic people, and they go and stay in this mansion that's known for all this weird psychic activity, and they want to like record this phenomena. If you've seen Scary Movie 2, it's kind of based on this and Poltergeist. So, good film. Really, really creepy. Where are we? Next we have Leprechaun with Warwick Davis and Jennifer Aniston. They unleash a leprechaun, but he's not very happy. He's a murderous leprechaun. It's actually pretty funny because no, it's a leprechaun, you know. What can he do? He can't harm you. He's a leprechaun. Next I have this French film called Les Diaboliques, and this is the film that inspired Hitchcock to make Psycho. These two teachers, they work at a school, and one of them's married to the headmaster and the other one is sleeping with him. He's a horrible jerk, so they devise a plan to kill him. So they do, and they dump his body in the lake, but the lake's drained. They dump his body in the pool, sorry, but the pool is drained and there's no body. And then the suit he was wearing is returned clean and fresh from the dry cleaners. And then more things happen. It's very, very tense. It's in black and white, but the ending, I was like biting my nails, just like waiting for something to happen. It's really, really well done film. And I have another foreign horror film, Let the Right One In. I don't know how much I can say without spoiling it, but these two kids meet, and she is not what she seems. Parts of it is pretty gross, so if you do plan on watching it based on my very informative blurb, then be prepared for that if you are bit of a weak stomach like me. So my next one here is called The Loved Ones. It's so gross. Oh my god. She likes him, he has a girlfriend, she asks him to the prom, he says no, I've got a girlfriend, and she's not happy to hear that. So her dad like kidnaps him, brings him to the house, and yes, I don't want to say very much more about that. That was very, very disturbing. Moving on to M, we have this film here with Anthony Hopkins called Magic, and it's about him and his ventriloquist dummy, and well, let's just say I think this guy could put Slappy to shame. Slappy is scary. But next I have a very, very messed up film called Midsummer. I knew nothing about this except it was directed by the same guy who did Hereditary, and as I loved Hereditary, I thought I'd give this a try. Oh my god, I was not expecting that. Oh my god, I can't even I was just sat there in shock like this after it finished, and I was just like, what did I just see? What? Oh my god. It's about this group of friends. They go on the trip to Sweden, and they're having the Midsummer Festival, and let's just say it takes a turn. That was just unexpected. Up next I have a film called Mirrors with Kiefer Sutherland. So he's an ex-policeman, and he's working in this huge department store, and he starts seeing things in the mirrors, things that shouldn't be there, and it's better than I'm making it sound, but I do need a rewatch so I can tell you more about it. Here. So going back to Stephen King, we have Misery. He is a famous writer, he crashes his car, and he's rescued by his #1 fan, and she doesn't want him to leave her, shall we put it nicely. I think everyone who's even a minor celebrity, this must be their worst nightmare. Being kidnapped by a crazy fan. I wouldn't want that to happen to me if I were a celebrity. Up next we have The Mist. This is a bad film. Bad film. I do not want to watch it again. It made me so angry. The only film where I've ever yelled at the TV. My mum knew. Mum knew what this was about, and she let me watch it anyway. She knew what was going to happen, and she let me watch it. How could she? How could she? Moving on. We have the original The Mummy with Boris Karloff. I forget how many times this film has been remade, but I did grow up with the Brendan Fraser version, but I thought I ought to give the original a chance, and I really liked it. It's quite different to the Brendan Fraser version, but I don't want to tell you. It'd be much more fun if you find out for yourself, because that way nothing will be ruined. Okay, so next we have a film called The Nanny, starring Bette Davis. She looks after children, the little girl dies, the boy's blamed for it. Everyone thinks it's him, but he's like, no, it wasn't me, it was the nanny. And then another sister comes to stay, and she's like, maybe this kid's telling the truth. But again, I don't want to say any more than that. It was actually really, really good. It's more of a psychological thriller than full-on horror. And plus, it's got Bette Davis in. So how can you not like it? Next I have Night of the Hunter. This is amazing. The way it's filmed is like a child's nightmare. It's all in black and white. It's like reading a Grimm's fairy tale, like watching a Grimm's fairy tale. The director is fantastic. He knows how to frame a shot. And Robert Mitchum is terrifying in this. He's a preacher who kills loose women, and he moves in with this widow and her 2 kids because they know where a secret stash of money is, and he'll do anything to get his hands on it. It's just, I I love this film. I can watch it over and over again. And again, it wouldn't be a horror film collection without A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, of course. I saw this when I was 7, and I really shouldn't have because I didn't sleep for like 2 months because it terrified me. It really, really terrified me. I'm okay with it now. I love it now, but yeah, I could barely get through it, and it took me years to get up the courage to watch it again. So I really do love this film. Okay, up next I have The Omen, the original. A politician. Is he a politician? I think he is. They have a son, and strange things seem to happen around him, and more and more weird things happen, and it leads the father to a revelation. And again, if you somehow haven't seen this film, I don't want to spoil it, but he learns that his son's not who we think he is. Next I have the Spanish film The Orphanage, or El Orfanato, and it's about this woman. She grew up in this orphanage, and now that she's an adult, she buys it to turn it into like a care home. But on the opening day, she sees this little boy in a strange mask, and her own son disappears. It's not jump filled. There are a few scenes that would just make you go like, what? But it's in a weird way, it's very beautiful, and it's very, very sad, and it's scary, which is very unique, I think. So I would urge you to give all of this a watch because it's a brilliant film. Up next we have The Others with Nicole Kidman, and I saw this when I was 8, and it gave me my very first existential crisis because I was so paranoid after I saw that. I was like, what if that's me and I don't know? What if that's happened to me and I just don't know? You know, it took me a while to shake that. So yes, the scene where the little girl on the floor in the long white dress, that terrified me so much. And next I have this thriller called Pacific Heights, and it's got Michael Keaton in it. He starts to rent a room in this couple's house, and he begins to like take over their lives, like doing everything he can to ruin their lives. He's a little bit unhinged, shall we say, but yeah, quite underrated. I feel like more people should know about this because Michael Keaton. And up next we have Paranormal Activity. Again, thought it was just okay. I felt like the ending was just too Hollywood for me. I prefer like one of the alternate endings. I can't remember which one, but she's just sitting there. No silly jump scares or anything like that. But I didn't bother with the sequels because I wasn't too overly impressed with that. Up next we have Parasite. I knew nothing about this when I watched it except the fact that it won the Best Picture Oscar. And I was watching it thinking, yeah, this is pretty good, this is kind of funny. And then it just took a hard left turn. I mean, that came out of nowhere, and by the time it was over, I was just like, my jaw was on the floor. Just like, what oh my god, I was just not expecting that. So, if you don't mind foreign films, again, give that one a try because it was really good. Next we have a Wes Craven classic, People Under the Stairs. It's about this little kid. He's working with this con artist. They pretend to be like repairmen so they can break in and steal stuff, but they break into the wrong house run by a very, very strange couple, and yeah, it's a battle to get out alive. It's a very good film. You know, Wes Craven, he always makes good films. At least the ones that I've seen are good. Um, Going back to Stephen King now, Pet Sematary. Again, I saw this when I was 8 or 9 and it scared the life out of me. I still cannot watch Zelda when she's on the screen. And the worst thing is, my sister's very good at doing voices, so she can do Zelda's voice. And it's not fair because it's really scary. Very sad, of course, as well, but very, very scary. I read the book, and that's terrifying. Next we have the original Piranha. It's about this couple. They're looking for this missing teenage couple, and they stumble on this like lab where this guy's been making like killer piranha, literally, and they accidentally get unleashed, and they're heading their way towards a camp, a children's summer camp, which can only go one way, can't it? So they're trying to stop it, but nobody believes them, like, kill a piranha? No, you're crazy. And yeah, and there's the piranha eat people. So next we have one that I've only seen once. It's called The Pit and the Pendulum with Vincent Price. His character is close to going insane, and then like one more thing happens to like push him over the edge, and he decides to get revenge on like everybody. It's more of a thriller. I don't remember it too well because I only saw it once, but it was quite good. Next we have a film called Play Misty For Me with Clint Eastwood. He's a late night radio DJ and he has a fan who always requests to play Misty. And they meet one night. She turns out to be a little bit crazy and will not leave him alone. Without this, I don't think we'd have Fatal Attraction. So this is like the blueprint, and it's very good. And it's weird to see Clint Eastwood not be like badass. You know, he's kind of a normal guy in this, and it's kind of weird to see. Next we have Poltergeist. This film can make you afraid of everything. TV, swimming pools, trees, clowns, mirrors, stakes. It's a brilliant film. It's so like iconic now. I still watch it every year, every Halloween, covering my eyes when the clown comes. When I was little, I was scared of the tree and the clown. Now it's just the clown. Fingers crossed. It will go away soon. Then we have Poltergeist 2. That guy, that Kane, very, very scary. My God. And we also have Poltergeist 3. I don't remember this one too well, just a lot of things about mirrors. And yes, things in mirrors, again, that shouldn't be in mirrors. So that's due a rewatch. Up next we have the most famous horror classic, well, thriller of all time, Psycho. I wish I hadn't known about the twist before I saw this, because it would have just like, I don't think I would have got it. It would just come out complete left field. But it's so ingrained in pop culture, I don't think anyone doesn't know the twist. But it didn't stop me from enjoying it. It's a brilliant film. Anthony Perkins is amazing in it. So the next film I have is Puppet Master, and I only saw this once because I was little and it was really, really weird, and the only thing I remember is the leech woman. She was quite creepy. So I really couldn't tell you what it's about, apart from there's a woman covered with leeches, which sounds great. Okay, moving on to R, I have another Hitchcock classic here, Rear Window. Brilliant film. He's a photographer, he's got a broken leg, he's passing the time by watching his neighbours, and he begins to think that one of them has killed his wife. And of course everyone's like, you're crazy. But as time goes on, they begin to think, maybe he did. Absolute classic. I'm sure you're all familiar with the plot, but when I was watching this, the ending, I was so tense. I should have a six-pack because I barely breathed throughout the whole ending. Wow, I was not expecting it to be that good. I mean, it sounds silly because it's Hitchcock, but it was just really like exceeded my expectations. And next I have another foreign horror film. This is Wreck. This was remade into the film called Quarantine, I believe, but I've not seen that because I think this one is pretty much amazing as it is. She's a reporter, and her and the news team are following firefighters around for a news segment. And they go to this house, and they discover there's like this contagious virus in there, and so they're all locked in, and they have to find a way to get out before things start happening. It's very well filmed. Some really scary moments in there too. It's brilliant. This next film I haven't seen, but I can't wait to. It's called Return of the Killer Tomatoes. Oh, come on, it sounds amazing, and it's got George Clooney in it. It's going to be hilarious. Killer Tomatoes. I need to see this, like, more than anything. I can't wait. The next film I have is a horror comedy classic, Return of the Living Dead. Brilliant. I love this film. It's so funny. I love the fact that the zombies are smart and fast, and in the 80s they were still like very slow, but no, they know what to do. They know to keep quiet. They're just I love the scene where the zombie lady is like strapped to the table and she's like, brace. It's just so funny. It's a brilliant film. I could watch it over and over again. I actually have Night of the Living Dead, but I don't know where it is. I have the original. I don't know where it is. But that's a really good film. Black and white. It's actually, some parts are pretty gross. It makes it feel like it's a news story. An old news story, but still. Anyway, I have this next film here, which could be about 2020. It's called Right at Your Door, and it's set in LA or somewhere like that, and these bombs are being dropped with like this poisonous gas, and everyone's advised to stay at home and like seal any cracks in your doors and windows and don't let anybody in. But the guy's like wife comes home and he's like, do I let you in and potentially infect me, or do I leave you out there to die? You know, it's when did this come out? 2006, I believe. And scary how accurate to 2020 it is. That was quite a roller coaster watching that. And next I have another foreign horror classic. This is Ring You. Oh my, this is so scary. I didn't see the remake. I was like really little when it came out. Probably, when did it come out? I don't even know. Anyway, I know like people were terrified of that and like phoning up their friend going 7 days, and people like facing their TV out the window so that if she crawled through she'd fall out the window. But no, I've not seen it, but I have seen this one and it is terrifying. I did watch the scene from the remake where she crawls out the TV, and it was just really quick, and she glitched like a hologram. Like, I can't be scared of a hologram, but this one, it's so slow. You almost want her to like just come out and kill you so it's over and done with, so you don't have to wait. But no, this, I mean, look at that. How scary is that? Up next, I think this counts. I think the Rocky Horror Picture Show counts. It's basically the story of Frankenstein, is it not? And people die. It's cheesy and funny and amazing, and I think it deserves a place in my collection. Up next I have a mini-series by Stephen King. It's called Rose Red. I didn't realise it was a series when I first watched it, and I was like, this is a long film. It's like 5 hours long on 2 discs. Again, a group of psychics go to this haunted, haunted, haunted house called Rose Red in Hope of Awakening phenomena, and they do, and they regret it. It's very, very creepy. Yeah, this did scare me when I was little. And another film that scared me is this next one they have, Salem's Lot. This vampire scared the life out of me. I don't know why I was watching all these things as a kid, but I was. And yeah, that creepy vampire and the little boy scratching at the window, I still can't watch them to this day. I have the book, but I can't bring myself to read it because this is really scary. So that's going to be scarier. The books are always scarier. But yeah, very, very terrifying. Silly me shouldn't have watched it, but silly me did.